And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.
On today's Smart 7, local elections loom for Labour, Donald Trump celebrates 100 days in power, and much more. It's Wednesday 30th of April, it's International Jazz Day, and happy birthday Kirsten Dunst.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
The number of people crossing the channel in small boats has already exceeded 10,000 for 2025. That's an increase of about 40% on last year. It comes despite the government's pledge to smash the smuggling gangs. But Home Secretary Yvette Cooper was blaming unusual calm weather for the uptick in arrivals. She's announced a new ban on foreign sex offenders seeking asylum, which means anyone on a register won't be entitled to refugee protections. The amendment will be added to the border security bill.
There can be challenges to deportations, to removals from the country, and those can be a series of different court challenges. And on that side, we're also strengthening the response.
The timing of the announcement seems intended to appeal to Reform voters in advance of Thursday's local elections. And YouGov's Patrick English says Labour will be under real pressure from Reform when the results come in.
We have Reform ahead of Labour by 3 points. It's not a big gap. It's not a large gap. It is what we would call the traditional margin of error associated with polling. But it certainly is the case that Reform are consistently up there, consistently at least tied with Labour.
Tuesday saw Donald Trump reach 100 days in office, and if you're keeping track, that means he still has about 93% of his 4-year term to go. So far, it's been fast-paced chaos with tariff wars, deportations, and some unusual appointments, but the polling numbers suggest Americans aren't enjoying the experience. 45% of people in an NPR poll gave the president an F grade, and his approval rating is at just 42%. The White House decided to celebrate the day by starting a media war with Amazon, who had proposed putting a label on goods to reflect the cost of tariffs. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt didn't take it well.
This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm.
Amazon quickly backed down, announcing that the label was only intended for their bargain brand Amazon Haul. But it turned out Amazon boss Bezos got a call from the president.
Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly. And he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev issued a veiled threat to Finland and Sweden on Tuesday, declaring that NATO's newest members have put themselves in the crosshairs of our armed forces. Russia has continued to attack Ukrainian targets, with Ukrainian President Zelensky rejecting the Russian president's proposal for a 3-day ceasefire next week as a manipulation and calling again for an immediate truce. This week is supposed to be a critical week for the peace process in Ukraine, according to the American Secretary of State Marco Rubio, but so far there's been no progress. Reports that America intends to recognise Russia's occupation of Crimea continue to be a red line for the Ukrainian side, as Ukrainian Foreign Committee Chair Alexander Marechko explained to the BBC.
If we do it, we will undermine the whole security order and international legal order, because it will create extremely dangerous precedent for the whole world when aggressor is not punished for his crime.
If Donald Trump is still hoping to make Canada the US's 51st state, his dream just got quite a bit more difficult to achieve. Canada's new Prime Minister will be Mark Carney, former Governor of the Bank of England and now leader of Canada's Liberal Party. The Liberals completed an incredible turnaround, coming from behind in the polls to win 169 seats out of 343, just short of an overall majority, but there are still votes to be counted. Not only did the Canadian Conservatives blow a 25-point lead in the polls, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre lost his own seat. Mark Carney spoke on Tuesday after his party's victory.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen. But we also must recognize the reality that our world has fundamentally changed.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, PSG upset Arsenal and Sebastian Stan gets ready to unleash thunderbolts right after this.
Hey, this is Jonathan Fields, host of the Good Life Project podcast. Boost Mobile reminds me of what I love, when someone reimagines what's possible. They have invested billions in building America's newest 5G network, becoming the country's fourth major carrier. They are doing things differently, offering a $25 monthly unlimited plan that never increases in price and letting you try their service risk-free for 30 days. With blazing fast 5G and plans for all the latest devices, they're changing the game. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or find them online at boostmobile.com. The Boost Mobile network, together with their roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas.
Welcome back.
Arsenal faced French champions PSG on Tuesday night in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. Wednesday sees Barcelona face off against Inter Milan, with the second legs on next week. PSG had beaten Aston Villa over 2 legs in the quarter-final, and despite drawing with the French side twice in the group stages, Arsenal were keen to win the first leg and take an advantage to Paris. PSG scored early, however, and Arsenal had a late goal disallowed after a lengthy VAR review, which means it is the French side who take a 1-0 advantage into the second leg. Mikel Arteta was unhappy with the night's work.
We're disappointed with the results. Obviously, we put so much into the game. It's true that the first 10-15 minutes we struggled, and after that I think the team went better and better and better, and disappointing not to get a draw this.
Marvel movies lately have been a bit of a mixed bag, with Captain America and The Marvels struggling to make much impact at the box office. So with a slate of new releases this summer, there's a bit of anxiety about how the Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts will fare. First up is Thunderbolts, which follows the story of a bunch of anti-heroes led by Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan and David Harbour, who fall foul of Julia Louis-Dreyfus in her villain era. Early critical reaction has been good, and Sebastian Stan seemed pretty excited on the red carpet.
Wyatt Russell and David Harbour are very funny people, and they're really easy to work with. It was such a great group, like literally, and so it was really easy. And I mean, like watching Julia Louis-Dreyfus every day on set was super fun.
We're not far now from the end of this season's football, and that means it's time for a season retrospective with the cast and crew of football's Hollywood heartthrobs, Wrexham. Season 4 of the show Welcome to Wrexham is due to drop on May 15th, and it follows the implausible success that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have had since they bought into the Welsh club. Welcome to Wrexham has won 8 Emmy Awards so far, and this season the cast includes Tom Brady and Channing Tatum, who've both been bitten by the soccer ball bug.
Wrexham is a community club. We've tapped into something they all wish they could.
We're going into a really tough division.
A baptism of fire.
Realistically, we will lose, but we've got that in.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but OnDeck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.